so far this season. The Irish in the all-white look, Duke in black and blue. We turn our attention to the face, but this team has been great since the jump.
Yeah, along with North Carolina, just the numbers they're putting on opposing defenses with versatility in terms of their scheme and the players.
No angle for the freshman Brennan O'Neill, and yes, he sneaks it past Liam Entenmann, and Duke opens the scoring through their star freshman.
Well, Michael Sowers will get the ball and tell everyone he's dodging, right? He's that type of player. Brennan O'Neill works best off of ball movement. So if Duke can spin the ball and then give it to 34 in black off of ball movement, that's where he's at his best because he uses his big body. He can get underneath. And he gets back to the left hand with zero angle right between. Yeah, you see Giles Harris is on Westland. So 2 is on 43. And then Kenny Brower, 43 in black, is on Kavanaugh.
Kavanaugh gets the rebound. Behind the back! He had 4 Duke defenders in his face! Does not matter!
I'm going to use the word junk, and I'm going to say it in the highest of regards. He's got some junk to his game, Pat Kavanaugh. If you watch the Syracuse game, he threw some shots that you thought, like, where is he going with this? And he delivers. He had a behind-the-back goal that I thought was fantastic against the Cuse in the Carrier Dome. But what he does, as well as any number one attackman, is he gets his helmet in the midst of every ground ball. And that is the payoff. A lot of guys, when you're the number one guy, you're not going to scrap and go in the middle of the field and get whacked. Kavanaugh could care less what happens to his body. He's on the turf, but the ball is at the back of the net.
The hammer belongs to Eric Dobson, freshman out of Florida. This time rings off the pipe and goes in. Wheaton Jacobois unleashes a flamethrower. And just like that, back-to-back goals for Notre Dame to take an early lead.
Okay, so Dobson's 8 and white. And I mentioned he has the hammer. When you put 2 outside shooters next to each other, one's going to get more cushion. They're going to hedge out on Dodson a little bit. In the ball rotation, when 8 has it, he will spray it.
The number 1 team in the country.
Good there. Nothing. Playing hard. Kenny. Watch it, Terry.
Plenty of room, and Notre Dame cashes in. A rocket from Mo Meyer makes it 3-1 Irish.
Dobson and Jacobois and Quinn McCann. It's been off the charts. I think nationally it's one of the top groups in college lacrosse. My question, who's stepping up for the second midfield? Well, Mo Meyer delivers an absolute bomb.
Gives Duke another opportunity. Here's Nakai Montgomery. He's been quiet so far in this first quarter. Passing to the soft spot of the Notre Dame defense. And cashing in, Owen Capu.
Chance opportunities. Look like they're calling that a tip. But here's the goal. Nakai Montgomery is second on the team in assists behind Michael Sowers. For my money, he's the best passing midfielder in college lacrosse right now. And his game has matured over the years this season.
1 for 1 today. 10 seconds left on it. Here's Kavanaugh. Back to Will York, the leading scorer. Adds another. Bounces it. And the transfer from Bucknell, Will York cashes in on the extra man opportunity.
You know, Jay, you threw that number over 70%. Well, at the end of the year, if you're around 50 to 55%, you might lead the nation. Notre Dame is checking in over 70% on the extra man. It's because of guys like Will York. You can put him out at the left low corner. You can put him inside as a crease finisher. He gives you versatility. Then you have the guys from the outside, this unit.
Notre Dame a 4-2 lead. The Irish have controlled possession, really every statistical category. Now a 3-goal lead. Will York back-to-back goals.
And Will York once again crease man extraordinaire. I mentioned the second midfield needs to step up. Litka with the deal. York
with Carolina. Entenmann's got 20 saves. They're just struggling to get a shot off. Right on cue when they needed it, the freshman Brennan O'Neill beat it.
This is when body counts, right? This is when you're built the way Brennan O'Neill is, right? You get a defender initially off his feet, right? And then the slide comes, and you're so strong, just in sports, but in life, to grow. He's not seeking perfection.
Three national championships in his time at Duke, 2010 and 2014 against this Notre Dame team. Great feed inside, Dyson Williams.
You know, you say great feed inside, and look who's dishing that feed. Nakai Montgomery. I said it earlier, he's the best passing midfielder in college lacrosse. His head is always up. He anticipates where the defensive pressure is, and then he counters with his pass. And Dyson...
Sowers, great pass, and an even better finish. Charlie.
Pick game without the defense even switching, but what happens is you see Garrett Ledman setting a pick. A little uncertainty in terms of switch or not switch, and Notre Dame does not switch there. But what that does is all the other white shirts are looking to support Sowers. And there's just that little space to jam it inside.
Kavanaugh working against the shorty behind the cage. Cashing in to give Notre Dame back the lead. Mo Meyer fires the Irish back in front with 55 seconds.
The missing piece, if you ask me, of this Notre Dame offense. Their attack scored 12 goals combined last week against Syracuse. Their first midfield, check, it's elite. Second midfield, not too sure. I've seen Meyer in the past take over games. Quarterfinal action 2019, 4 goals against Johns Hopkins. He has the ability. When you talk to Kevin Corrigan.
Meyer, a last name that means a great deal at South Bend. His father, Rick, a quarterback in Notre Dame, and then 11 years in the NFL. Quick strike again! A scoop and score right off the face-off. 2 goals.
Daniel Cassidy gets the desperation pass by Charlie Leonard, and on a righty goalie for that short stick defensive midfielder, who is not by any stretch a volume shooter. But Notre Dame has the athletes in the middle of the field to make plays like that.
Notre Dame fell asleep right as the man up was expiring. Plenty of room and time. And Duke makes the Irish pay.
We talk Sowers, we talk O'Neill. Well, Joe Robertson is a chameleon for the Blue Devils. He can beat you with his left hand. He can beat you inside.
He's a magician. The sophomore totally stepped out of his older brother's Matt's shadow. Adler didn't know where it went. Uh-oh, and Wheaton Jacoboy's there to scoop it up and put it home. Great ball control.
Well, Adler makes his first stop, but he can't track the rebound, right? You see how his head's down looking for the ball? And Jacoboy's, look though, he's looking down right now. He's no clue, goes off his helmet, right? Jacoboy's picks it up, cleans it up. Crash the boards like in hoops.
This game continues to be a battle of Duke almost against themselves. So many turnovers in this game, nearing 20. Fretted that Notre Dame defense, and they turn it into offense. Bouncer Eric Dobson beats Mike Adler.
So here's the deal. We mentioned about McKenzie on the Duke side with that lefty shot, a freshman. This is Dobson, but what's unique about him as a freshman midfielder is he lets it go when he has pressure on his bottom hand because he's so strong, he leans into the defense. And in that same motion, defensive pressure, shoot with.
Jackaboys, 5 seconds left in the quarter. Beats a man and scores! Right at the end of the third quarter, Wheaton Jackaboys in 6 Notre Dame.
Wow. You know, I mentioned Duke with all these guys at midfield, and sometimes you see 9 offensive midfielders. Well, Notre Dame knows who their top unit is, right? And Wheaton Jackaboys is one of those 3 absolute playmakers on the first midfield, along with the hometowns of some of these Fighting Irish players, like Jackaboys from Kansas City.
A scoop and score right off the rip. Kyle
Not had a typical day at the office statistically, right? Naso has owned this matchup. But when you can win a draw and go down the heart of the defense and stick it, that's game-changing. That's momentum-changing. It offsets any discrepancy in terms of
Dome and won by 7 against Syracuse. Then had to immediately turn around, shake off what could potentially be a little bit of a hangover from a big win like that. And they had come and played.
Yeah, Lee Shaw just
30 seconds for hold.
got him for a.
And as Duke tries to crawl their way back into this game, that'll kill you. What should have been a goal on the other end ends up with an Irish goal. Mo and Notre Dame's doubling up the #1 team in the country, 12-6.
David Lipko, we've seen him with 2 assists now, but the location of that shot, and I don't think Adler got a read on it, because Mo Meyer shoots right off the top shoulder of the defender who was coming out to press on him.
Duke needs something, and they get it from the star freshman, Brennan O'Neill. His 3rd of the day. At Duke, only down 5, 6:49, plenty to... And they only scored 8 in a loss at North Carolina.
Yeah, if someone was to tell you that Duke would be winning 71% of their face-offs today, down by 5, what would your response be?
Impossible. And with Adler out of his cage, Mo Meyer scores his 4th goal of the day.
You'd have to think Notre Dame's going to get some #1 votes, because when you think of all the teams up there, do you give Maryland, an undefeated Maryland, that #1 vote when the Big Ten, you don't really have the measuring stick in terms of out of conference like you do with the ACC. So it's a little bit more of a pressing question, right? They're only playing against each other. You can't fault them. That's the protocol. But the ACC, we have a stronger idea. Wow. Old school bouncer by Robertson. Do you know what I mean, Jay? It's really hard to gauge the Big Ten. Maryland passes the eye test. I voted them #1. I'll vote them #1 again. Notre Dame has that 1 loss. So I'm going to say they're going to be in the top 3 without question. Probably Maryland will be there at the top 4. Maryland, Carolina, Duke, Notre Dame. Would you agree or disagree?
I would agree. Maybe you throw Denver in, but not yet. They lost to Duke earlier in the season. Yeah,
and
I'd agree.
Carolina, they have the 2 losses.
Well, Kevin Corrigan will remember this one. A statement win against #1 Duke as the head coach moves